Freshly heartbroken, my mind transported back to 4 years ago. I was still a junior in college when I hit the road to film a documentary exploring the United States in an attempt to define love through strangers. Truthfully, I had no idea what I was doing, which is probably why the footage sat on a hard drive for the longest time. But recently, I began watching it again, and it finally spoke to me.
We only have one word for actual love in the English language. The Greeks, a lot of scholars will tell you, obviously, which is true, they have 5 words, okay? There's like 3 words in Italian. I can think of 4 in Spanish.
To love someone is to, lay down and die for them. To like them is just putting your feelings into them,
Well, when you're in love, you can never be bought out.
I think when you think of liking someone, you're picturing what it could be. And when you love someone, it's what it is.
When they say, love at first sight kind of thing, for me personally, that was, that's what happened for me. I saw her and I knew right then. It was like, I actually said to myself the night I met her, I said, this is a woman I'm going to marry, because I just knew she was beautiful, she was smart, funny, just the way we connected on such a deep and personal level. I knew that night that she was going to be the one I was going to be with forever. So, yeah, love, man. It's something deep down that you kind of feel in your soul. It's something you can't explain, almost.
I kind of like this girl. I'm gonna take her out on a couple of dates. Y'all fuck, y'all like each other. Loving someone is when y'all can go through lose your house, lose your car, lose your be homeless on the streets, and y'all are still together. Love doesn't mean shit without loyalty.
I think it has something to do with remembering in a soft, gentle way when you're not with the person. So I think it's the post-fact feeling for me.
Look at women and I like them. I might see a lot of women I want to have sex with, but there's only one woman I love. And if I have sex with a lot of women, that's fine, but I always come back to her.
I'm still trying to define love.
I think that love is fleeting, but respect lasts. Like if you respect a person, that will last you your whole life. I mean, once you lose that respect, you're done with that person. But love is like a conditional thing.
Yeah, I do. I believe it's a choice. To like someone, I can like you, but to love you is a choice that I make. To love you when you're awful, nasty, beautiful, sad.
Love is very much like that. Like it's just like a flow. It's like a frequency. So sometimes you're riding that wave. Everything's good. Everything's flowing, and then it can come crashing down.
I'm here with the person I love. Like I'm not trying to be cheesy, but like
it's true.
I was like 5 years old, trying to grow up to be a good person, and like this is all I wanted.
You're gonna make me cry. This is like really all, this is what we both like look forward to in life. And I feel like with everything that he and I have gone through in our lives and then like together, like when I met him, I knew that he was the one for me. And this is, today, like doing this and finally like getting married was so important for us. And it's just incredible.
The impulse to fall in love is sexual. It's emotional. And after that, you put wisdom in your relations.
There comes communication. You have to talk and understanding and tolerance.
When we communicate, it's almost like we don't need to use words. We just need to look at each other, and that happened from the start.
To be good lover, you should know techniques. Yeah, techniques. It's to know how the body of woman and man
He's
work
not talking
together.
about that type
Yes,
of love.
yeah. No, but you should be motivated.
When you love someone, you're more open to accepting like who they are behind closed doors, some of their deep, dark, weird things, you know, like intimate things.
I think I've thought I was in love before, especially having fantastic sex, out of this world sex, and on paper ticked all my boxes. We moved together, we were doing life together, we were planning life together, and the whole time I was thinking, there's no way in hell that this is it.
If you truly love someone, getting out of that love is not an easy thing to do. I've had that experience where I had to make a decision, you know, do I go this way or do I go that way? And I chose to go away from it. And to this day, it's been in my thought process at times. You know, it's something I don't think you ever get over.
In my life experience, I think falling out of love, I had to do it, and I did it for love of myself, because most of the times I was in love with someone who wasn't in love with me. Mm-hmm. So I had, for my best interest, had to walk away and had to deal with that emotionally. But you know, life goes on. You meet someone else and you move on. It hurts.
If you really love someone, you're willing to go through everything together. An example I would give you is my parents. You know, they escaped from Iraq to Syria to the United States together. And if they didn't love each other, they wouldn't have made that happen, and I wouldn't be here today.
The first time I ever experienced joy, real love, was through the birth of my child. You know how you think you're happy or you think you receive love? It was a very different emotion. And it just led to something I'd never experienced as far as being happy and love and joy and seeing a healthy child. And it made me want more, so I had 2 more.
When he was born, that was 6 a.m., March 24th, 1999. That was, for me, the best day of my life. The best day. That's the respect that I have and the love for him. That love and that respect will never break. Right, son? Mm-hmm. We rule together the world, right?
Yeah.
Nothing comes between us. Nothing. Nothing. And if you notice, it's only me and him. But I tell him, you respect your mom.
I mean, if we're very transparent, no marriage is perfect. Every marriage has to be built. Yeah, we've had tough moments where, you know, we split up and we just make it back together. Our daughters have been through it as well with us. And it's not easy, but like we said, it takes 2 to make it work. Otherwise, forget it. It's not gonna work.
When I met him, it was like I had a purpose, and I didn't have a plan for dying anymore. Like I had a plan for suicide, like for a long time. And I was pretty positive I was gonna fulfill it after I turned 18. And I'm almost 19. And I'm happy. And like, I didn't think that that was possible.
Neither of us expected to run into each other. And then when we did, it was just like, now our lives are gonna be way different than we even like expected and we could have imagined.
And boundaries, you know what I mean, are very important. That's part of love too, having boundaries. Like, you know, people like to hit, you know what I mean, and people like to curse and call names. It's not love. Love means holding your tongue.
I feel like I have a better grasp on what that actually is, and it's someone who looks at me and they're like, you're kind of insane and you're doing too much, but I'm gonna support you, and we're still gonna have all the fantastic sex and do all the fun things together. That's like the thing
I respect that she puts up with me in spite of all of my flaws, and you know, she doesn't expect perfection. She accepts me who I am for what I am, and we work through things together.
We acknowledge, we forgive, and we move on. You know, we made a vow, and you know, We just, I don't know, work together somehow. Somehow we make it work.
It's a team.
There are bad days and there are good days. That's marriage.
That's always the hardest part, you know? Even though liking someone is very easy, to like yourself is like the hardest thing. To love yourself is even harder.
Acceptance with yourself, not anyone else. Knowing who you are and just owning it entirely.
Choosing to love myself. Where I'm at. And I want to say in my brokenness, but I'm not broken, I'm whole. But making that choice to know that like I'm okay where I'm at, it's actually been a pretty tough decision. But I know it's a good decision and it's the right decision.
I wish that I would have known earlier to just be yourself and just enjoy the time you have, because A, you don't know how much it is, and B, like people who are just by nature crappy and won't accept you, you just root them out early. Just root them out early. Just get rid of them. And it's hard, especially at that age, just wanting to be accepted. But I wish that I could have internalized that when I was younger.
If there's anything inside you that like has an urge to just like say something to someone, but you don't know anything about them, you don't know, all you just sense is like this, like, go say hello. Like, no matter how awkward it might be, no matter what like the situation is, you can just say hello, and it could be, you could develop a friendship, you can develop a love, you can develop maybe a connection on just for a moment on that day, or discussion, or a lifetime friend, or a new travel buddy. Like, there's just so many things that can happen from that moment that you open up and say hello.
To say hello to all these wonderful strangers is what it took me to understand that I'm not defined by how I see myself, nor by how others see me. I'm defined by how I choose to see others. From all the deep conversations with all the wonderful people that I've met, I'm grateful to everyone who shared their stories with me and allowed me to glimpse into their soul. I will cherish these moments for the rest of my life. Love, I've learned, cannot be defined by words. Love is defined by what we're willing to do for it. I used to think it was selfish to love myself because I thought it was egotistical. But I've realized that to love deeply and truthfully, I must first hug the cactus. To accept the parts of myself that are flawed and even hurt to love. Because how can someone love others with their whole heart if they don't even love themselves?